Hey guys, yours truly, Kevin Grace. I'm in Brooklyn, New York at Greenwood Cemetery. I'm here to pay my respects to a man that was part of the Harlem Renaissance. That man, James Weldon Johnson. Now, you may know the song that he wrote. Well, actually, he wrote a poem that later was put toward added to music and became, as they call it, the Black National Anthem, and they play it before some of the NFL football games. Lift every voice and sing. And he's buried here in 1938. He and his wife were on vacation in Maine, and he was killed in a car accident. Now, he also served as executive secretary for the NAACP from 1920 to 1930, and he wrote other songs as well. His brother had come here to New York to work on Broadway, and they did some musical theater and things like that. Now his wife is buried here as well, and this is actually his wife's family, so you won't see a headstone particularly saying Johnson family, but his does. And as you can see, the headstone here says Nail, and his wife Grace, that's the family, her family last name. But he's buried here. Folks have a whole bunch of these painted stones they put around here. Now his wife died in 1976, so he was 67 years old when he passed away. I will try to put any video with this if I can find it. If you like this video, please subscribe down below, and feel free to leave any comments about James Weldon Johnson. Lift every voice and sing.
James Weldon Johnson was our first African-American executive secretary of the NAACP beginning in 1919. That would be the equivalent of the president and chief executive officer of the NAACP today.
One is just the massive amount of accomplishment that he had. He had different careers and was really at the top of all of them.
James Weldon Johnson was that close to an incident that could have gotten him lynched. And yet, you know, these beautiful words come pouring out of him.
We have to be honest with ourselves and understand that we have been and still continue to be, in many instances, forbidden to tell our stories, to have our histories told. I mean, certainly, he should be part of Florida history. He should be part of United States history. But there's so much more about us that ought to be part of our history as a nation.
We're getting our first look at plans to revamp James Weldon Johnson Park in downtown Jacksonville. Residents got to see these renderings and designs, the result of several community meetings over the last year. News4Jax reporter Ariel Schiller gives us a closer look.
Some say that James Weldon Johnson Park is at the heart of downtown, but in the future the park could look different. The park is in the process of being redesigned for the first time since 1977. Michael DeGregorio is the principal at Hood Design Studio, who created the designs and renderings for the park. He says their design splits the park into 9 squares.
You can get a lot done in one park by having all these different activities. So anywhere from just gardens to sit and relax in, the grand lawn to sunbathe, watch a concert or a show. There's a lot of groves of trees where you can just sit and have lunch, play a game.
Before and during Art Walk, people got the chance to see designs and renderings of the future of James Weldon Johnson Park. They got to share their feedback and concerns with project leaders.
Well, now it's kind of more of a blend.
Tina Prater attended the open house Wednesday night. She's lived in Jacksonville since 2011 and visits the park frequently. She liked what she saw on the renderings.
They have a children's garden, which is very awesome for the children because the spot that they have now isn't that very big. And then you have like places where you can sit down and picnic with your family if you want to sit down and do picnics.
Liz McCoy, the executive director for Friends of James Weldon Johnson Park, says the design will honor the history of Jacksonville while looking towards the future. What are some highlights that maybe you can talk about that maybe stick out to you? Like, what are some of your favorites?
Well, so there's going to be a wonderful water feature that actually has some stones, and there will be a poet walk through it because, of course, James Weldon Johnson was an amazing poet. He was also an author, a civil rights leader, a lawyer. He had so many things that he accomplished in his life.
McCoy says they'll continue to get feedback to help refine the design, but ultimately the final decision is up to the city.
We manage the park on the day-to-day, but the city is really the driving factor in this decision-making process. So there will be lots of city discussions on really refining the process, and hopefully we'll get it all approved and start construction sometime in the near future.
In Jacksonville, Ariel Schiller, Channel 4, the local station.